Matthew chapter 27. But when morning had become, all the archpriests and the preceders of the people took an altogether counsel against Jesus so that they might deaden him. And binding him, they led him away and gave beside him up to Pilate, the leader. Then Judas, who had given him up, perceived that he was condemned. He repented of it and turned the 30 silver pieces to the archpriests and preceders. I failed, giving up inculpable blood. But they said, "What is it to us? You will eye the consequences." And flinging the 30 silver pieces into the temple, he absconded up, and having come away from there, he strangled himself. But the archpriest, having taken the 30 silver pieces, said, "It is not allowed to cast them into the Corban box, because it is the value of blood." But having taken an altogether counsel, they bought out of their sum the field of the potter for the entombing site of those guestioning. Therefore that field was called Field of Blood till today, and was completely fulfilled, that having been talked through Jeremiah the prophet, saying, "And they took the 30 silver pieces, the value of the value one, whom they had valued, so from the sons of Israel. And I gave them for the field of the potter, according as the Lord ordered together to me." But Jesus was made to stand in front of the leaders, and the leaders asked on him, saying, "Are you, yea, you, the regent of the Jews?" But Jesus explained, You say it." And in that he was accused under the authority by the archpriests and the preceders, he answered not one thing. Then Pilate says to him, "Do you not hear how much they testify against you?" And he did not answer him, not even to one talk, so that the leaders marveled very much. But according to the feast, the leaders had the custom to unloosen one bound one of the throng, whom they requested. But they had then a specially notable unbound one, called Barabbas. Hence, at their having been led together, Pilate said to them, "Who do you want that I unloosen to you, Barabbas or Jesus, the one called Christ?" But at his having seat on the podium, his wife dispatched to him, saying, "Let not one thing be between you and that righteous one. For I suffered much today in a dream vision because of him." But the archpriests and the preceders made the throngs compliant that they should request Barabbas, but should wholly loosen away Jesus. But the leaders answering said to them, "Which of the two do you want that I should unloosen to you?" But they said, "Barabbas." Pilate says to them, "Hence, what shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ?" They say, "Let him be staked." But he explained, "What badness has he done?" But they cried with an abounding outcry, saying, "Let him be staked." And Pilate, having perceived that not one thing benefited, but on rather that much more tumult comes to be, taking water, washed off his hands, standing opposite from the throng, saying, "I am inculpable of the blood of this righteous one, but you will eye the consequences." And all the people answering said, "His blood be upon us and upon our children." Thereupon he unloosened to them Barabbas, but letting Jesus be whipped, he gave beside him over so that he be staked. Then the warfarers of the leaders, beside taking Jesus into the praetorium, led together unto him the whole troop, and outslipping him, they set a scarlet coat about him, and braiding a crown of thorns, they set on it on his head, and the reed in his right hand, and knee falling in front of him, they scoffed at him, saying, "Be joyful, regent of the Jews." And spitting in on him, they took the reed and struck his head. And when they had scoffed at him, they outslipped him the coat, and slipped in his raiments over him, and led him away to stake him. But coming out, they found a human, a Cyrenian, Simon by the name. This one they forced, so that he lift up his stake. And having come to the place Golgotha, which is called Skull's Place, they gave him wine to drink, having been mingled with gall, and tasting it, he was not willing to drink. But those staking him thoroughly parted his raiments, casting a lot. And thereupon having seat, they guarded him there. And they set on above his head, his guilt cause having been written, "This is Jesus, the regent of the Jews." Then 2 bandits were staked together with him, one out of those at the right hand, and one out of those at the left name side. But those going by blasphemed him, moving their heads and saying, You who are down loosening the temple and dwell building it in 3 days, save yourself if you are the Son of God, and descend from the stake. Likewise, the archpriest, scoffing at him, along with the preceders and scribes, said, Others he saved, himself he is not able to save? If he is the region of Israel, let him descend now from the stake, and then we faith on him. He has complied unto God. Let him rescue himself now, if he wants him. For this cause he said, I am the Son of God. But according to the same manner, the bandits also, those having been staked together with him, reviled him. But from the 6th hour darkness came upon the whole earthland till the 9th hour. But about the 9th hour Jesus shouted out with a great voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. This is translated, my God, why did you leave down me? But some of those having taken stand there, hearing this, said, This one lets resound a call to Elijah. And straightway, one running and having taken a sponge beside filling it with vinegar, and having set it about a reed, gave him to drink. But the rest said, Let be, we should perceive if whether Elijah comes to save him. But another one, having taken a lance, pierced his side, and came out water and blood. But Jesus, having cried again with a great voice, dismissed the spirit, and perceived the curtain of the temple was torn in 2 parts, from above to down, and the earthland quaked, and the rocks were torn, and many bodies of the holy ones, those having been made to slumber, were awakened. And after his raising, having come out of the sepulchres into the holy city, they were personally revealed to many. But the hecatontarch and those with him guarding Jesus, having perceived the quake and the events having become, were extremely made to fear, saying, Truly, this was the Son of God. But many women were there also, beholding from afar, who had followed Jesus from Galilee, serving him, in among whom was Mary, the mother of James, and Mary, who belonged to Joseph, and Mary, the mother of the sons of Zebedee. But when evening had become, there came a rich human from Arimathea by the name of Joseph, who himself had also was made a learning one, due to Jesus. This one, having come to Pilate, requested the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded it to be given to him. And Joseph, having taken the body, folded it in clean Sidon linen, and laid it to rest in his new sepulchre, which he had stone cut in the rock. And having rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre, he came away from there. But there were Miriam the Magdalene, and the other Mary, having seat opposite the tomb. But the other day, thereupon, the day which is after the preparation of implement, the archpriest and the Pharisees were led together to Pilate, saying, Lord, we were reminded that the same errorizing one said, while he was still living, after 3 days I will wake. Hence, command the tomb to be secured till the 3rd day, lest at some time the learning ones, having come there, will steal him and say to the people, He was awakened away from the died ones. And hence the last error will be worse than the foremost. But Pilate explained to them, For this you have the custodianship. Go away, secure the tomb as you perceive as sufficient. But those going away secured the tomb by sealing the stone with the help of the custodianship.